Hey there, YouTube land, and I apologize for not getting this one out earlier, but sleep happened at about 5 and this thing really got slow uploading. So this is part 2 of my criterions. Basically, I'm going to show you my criterions, letting you know which ones I think are worth getting in the sale, which ones I think you can probably wait on and get down the road. It's all opinion based, so I hope you guys enjoy this. And here we go with part 2 of my criterion discussion and overview. Next up is one that I think is extremely funny and extremely important. It's a great film by Ernest Lubitsch. It's called To Be or Not to Be. Most people remember this movie as the remake by Mel Brooks, but this is a fantastic movie. This is Jack Benny at his best. This would be Carole Lombard's final screen appearance. She would tragically die, unfortunately, after this film, and this is a great, great, great film. This is one of the ones that made us fall in love with Lubitsch, and it's just an amazing film. There's some great stuff on here as well. There's a German silent short on here. 2 episodes from Jack Benny's radio show that he did, and just some really cool stuff. Next up is Seconds. This one is, I find it a great film. It's not for everybody. This is a science fiction film, very much in the Twilight Zone-esque type of field. It's Rock Hudson. Of course, this is directed by John Frankenheimer, so you pretty much know. Well, I guess you know what you're going to get. Rock Hudson basically plays. Well, there's an older man. And he gets this sort of like youth thing to be brought back to be like Rock Hudson. It's hard to explain right now. It's probably really not hard to explain, but I just woke up not that long ago, so Seconds is a great movie if you're into this type of film. It's a cool science fiction film. Next one up is a good one if you like horror and if you like just basically film style overall, and that is Del Toro's The Devil's Backbone. Of course, this was number 666 of the Criterion Collection. Very cool. There's a great restoration of this one here. There's fantastic making of, some great interviews. It's just one that I was really, really glad to get. There's a really great booklet with this one. Very cool color cover to the case. Like I said, still waking up. Next one is one I really strongly recommend to people. And it's a silent comedy, but it's just brilliant in the way that it's done. And it's called Safety Last. It's by Harold Lloyd. And you've probably seen this picture a million times, or at least seen it referenced somehow. But this is where it came from. And Safety Last is a great film. It's not just a great set piece for this here little gag. It has a great build-up to it. And Harold Lloyd is fantastic. He's not Charlie Chaplin. He's not Buster Keaton. He has his own type of style that works extremely well. And the really cool thing about this one here is, aside from the newly restored shorts that are actually included on this one here, there's also a 108-minute documentary called Harold Lloyd the Third Genius, which is an amazing documentary that you really should check out. I strongly recommend Safety Last. It is a great film, fantastic cover, fantastic presentation, and a great documentary to boot. Next up is another one that I like. I love that comedy styling, and especially I love the French comedies as well, and I love Pierre Artaud. This is a great collection of his work. We've got Rupture, Happy Anniversary, The Suitor, Yo-Yo, As Long as You've Got Your Health, Feeling Good, Le Grand Amour, and Land of Milk and Honey. So basically from 1961 to 1971. There are some great things on this. There's some great features as well. This is a 3-disc set. This is the DVD version. I didn't get the Blu-ray version, but there is a Blu-ray edition out there as well. But at the time I thought, this one is good enough for me. And I gotta say, there's a great, huge book on the toe, and it's like, he just has some amazing pictures and stuff in here, and I gotta say, I highly recommend this one. It is one fantastic set, and if you want to see like the roots of some great comedy, some great French filmmaking, then you definitely want to check this set out. Next up is more of the more recent one, and that is Gate of Hell. Which is a very visually stunning film. Actually, it says right in the back. Oh, yeah, it's visually sumptuous, as they say. It's a Japanese film, one that I really enjoy. And honestly, I won this one in an eBay auction, and it was brand new. I couldn't believe it. I got it instead of the wrapping stuff on it. There's a great booklet on here, as there always is. I love the cover of this booklet. It's just very cool. The art style of this one here made me get it. And it's one that I gotta say I ended up liking. I didn't know if I was or not, but I really did. Chaplin has always been one of my favorites, one of my kind of spiritual idols. And The Mesure of Bordeaux is a very different Chaplin film, but it's one that I like. It asks a lot of questions and lets you answer them. Bordeaux is a killer of women. He's like widows, basically, and I really enjoyed some of the questions that are asked in this film. There's just some great stuff. There's a great documentary on this as well. Love this presentation. Love the cover here. Criterion gets razzed on for some of the covers, but the Chaplin covers are some amazing stuff. Now, the Chaplin one that I really wanted to get and I really liked was Modern Times. Modern Times is one of my favorite films. Of course, Godard is in this one, and it is just great. What can I say about Modern Times that hasn't already been said? I mean, this is fantastically fun Chaplin film. It's, it's set, the sight gags in this are incredible. The movie itself is way deeper than it should be, and it's a fantastic film. It's a great, huge booklet on Modern Times that's really worth checking out. Next up is The Killing. It's a Stanley Kubrick film. It comes with an actual second film, as it comes with his 1955 Noir Killer's Kiss, and that thing gets kind of a little bit of features on its own. And I gotta say, I love this movie. I'm a Kubrick fan, and The Killing was one of the ones that stood out to me. It just had such a great cast. We got Sterling Hayden in this one here, Elijah Cook Jr. of course. Many of you guys remember from, of course, the Maltese Falcon. Yeah, we have Murray Windsor. Just some really, really great actors. Some really great stuff. It's really well shot. I love the way the narrative is done in this film. If you're into a film noir, if you're into like this style of film, Killing is definitely a good one to get. Next up is a complete Jean Vigo, and I had not seen Jean Vigo until I had gotten this set. I'm going to try and pronounce the names, but I'm not French speaking. If my better half was here, she would have no problem since that's her first language. So the movies in this is Apropos de Nice, Terrace, Zero de Conduit, and L'Atlantia. Anyway, it's a 2-disc set. Great stuff. Jean Vigo, unfortunately, was kind of like, he's a spiritual successor, the great godfather of the French New Wave cinema, and he would be the guy that the others grew up like watching, like guys like Truffaut and Romer, and it's an amazing set. My favorite one on here is Zero de Conduit, and if you've seen the movie If with Malcolm McDowell, it pretty much like this. The director that made the movie If definitely watched Zero de Conduit before he made that movie. Great film. There's some great stuff in it, and of course this is early stuff. It goes from some of his silent stuff and to his actual full-length feature movie, which is very, very fantastic for its time. Now for some more mainstream stuff. Godzilla. Honestly, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I love the original Godzilla. They do a great job on the transfer. It's and if you're not sold on it by that, here, let's sell it on you. Let's see. Yes, it pops up like this, and it's really cool. I love this movie. Love this transfer. I'm glad I waited to get this one here. I know there's a Toho release as well, which my son does have, and he's a huge, huge, huge Godzilla fan. Anything you want to know about Godzilla, you could probably ask him. He knows it. Fantastic film. Next one, I think, is a must for everyone's collection if you're a horror fan. That's Rosemary's Baby. I love this film. Fell in love with this one early on, the first time I saw it. Unlike some other movies, it took me a while to appreciate. The Exorcist is one that I didn't, be honest, I didn't appreciate as well then as I do now. But this one here I did. There's just something really, really disturbing about The Exorcist. John Cassavetes does a great job. Ruth Gordon's in this one. It's just an amazing cast. And of course, I think Mia Farrow was the perfect choice for this role here, even though I don't think the studio wanted her originally. Next up, of course, is another Hitchcock film, The Lady Vanishes. It's more lighthearted, but it's really cool. And this also has Crooks Tour, which is a second film, basically based on some of the two of the characters which were in The Lady Vanishes. And actually, I have not sat down to watch this one again yet. I've seen Lady Vanishes before. I love the film. I've not seen the second film on here. But but I'm really looking forward to seeing that. There's some great interviews in here. Of course, some excerpts from Truffaut's classic interview with Hitchcock, and some more amazing stuff. Now we're getting into some of the Blu-ray stuff, Blu-ray DVD mixed together. And that is Amarcord. Amarcord is probably my favorite Fellini film. It's probably his most personal film. It deals with basically, there's a thing on here called Fellini's Homecoming, and it really is. Amarcord was Fellini's Homecoming. There's just such great, strange characters. It's a coming-of-age film, and it's one of the... I love coming-of-age films. If you love coming-of-age films, Amarcord is something you have to have in your collection. Fellini does a fantastic job. And here's a must. It's just a must all across the board, and it's M by Fritz Lang. Fritz Lang does some amazing stuff, and there is just some incredible stuff here. We got a documentary with Friedkin on this one here. We have a long-lost English version of M. There's just some really incredible stuff here. M is an amazing film, and of course it made Peter Lorre famous, and he just did some incredible stuff with this. I love this movie. Black Narcissus was actually given me by my good friend Sammy, and this is one I'd wanted for a long time. Some people consider it the first nunsploitation movie, but I don't really take it as that. It's a great film. Deborah Kerr stars in this. It's a great, I don't know what you call it. It's an action movie. It's a cinematic movie. It's just a great film done in 1947. It is shot in color, and it's a film that you will not forget. I really love Black Narcissus. I'm going to do one more here before, and I'm going to make it to the third ones. Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson is big with Criterion. His Royal Tenenbaums, it happens to be one of my faves. Of course, we have the Wes Anderson cast that we usually got here. We got Ben Stiller, Gene Hackman, Gwyneth Paltrow, of course Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson. Like basically the usual cast. If you know the Royal Tenenbaums, then you know why it's a cool movie to get. I enjoy it. If you enjoy Wes Anderson, it's definitely for you. If you're not a Wes Anderson fan, you're probably going to want to wait and get probably something like Fantastic Mr. Fox first, which we're going to talk about in the next video. But for me right now, I just basically woke up, came on here to do the second part right away, so it's time for tea.